Your kit will include a pot with pre-drilled holes, a ring, this will be metal or wood, 2 lengths of 10mm cotton rope, a shorter accent colour, a longer accent colour, and in this kit 2 longer lengths which will be the rope to decorate the pot. You'll need to provide a sharp pair of scissors, some pins, you only need 4, 2 lengths of thread or fine string, and some super glue and some sellotape. So first of all, you need to make sure your lengths of rope are folded in half. Thread the ring onto 2 of the strands. Try and make sure that all 4 pieces of rope are not twisted, they're nice and kind of flat and almost square and even. Take your thread, make 2 loops and overlap them to make a clove hitch. If you find it difficult to make a clove hitch, you can just do an ordinary kind of double knot. So slide the loops you've made over the top to fix and secure the 4 bits of rope at the top of your planter. Take your time to get this right at this point. You want to make sure that both of the strands are level, and then pull tight to really make sure that you have secured that top part really firmly. If you think any of your ropes look twisted, this is the time to untwist them to make them all even. Trim off the excess ends. When you are happy that you've got everything straight, find your longer length of accent colour, not the longest though. So, protecting the surface that you're working on, apply a small dot of super glue onto the knot to secure it, and place the accent rope on top. Make sure the tail is kind of tucked in so that when you overlap the next piece of rope, the end will be hidden. A second dot of super glue will let that first piece be fixed in place, and then carefully wrap your accent rope round and round, trying to keep the tension even and making sure that the rope isn't twisted. Keep going until you get to the end. When you're happy that everything is even, you're going to push the end of the accent rope in and under the last loop that you've done to hide away the end. You can then push the nib of the super glue bottle in there, and a little squeeze will be sufficient to fix that end securely. If you have a second accent colour, you repeat the process, trying to butt the second colour up against the first one. Now, take your sellotape and wrap it round the ends, the loose ends of the biggest bit of rope. You're creating almost like the end of a shoelace so that you can eventually push the rope in through the holes of your pot. So slide them round nice and tight and work your way through all 4 ends of the rope. Okay, now you're ready to straighten out the length of the rope. And you want to make sure that you have just a little bit of tension on all 4 pieces of rope. Place a pin on each rope at the same level. This will mean that you pull the same amount of rope through the pot and it will help make your pot nice and even. We don't want it to hang wonky. Okay, pull the rope, readjust it if you need to. Now if you're particularly concerned about the height at which your pot will hang, you might want to measure the length that you're putting your pins at. So you now want to push that kind of lace end, the sellotaped end of the rope. You want to push it from the outside of the pot in, pull it right the way through until you get to that pin, and then push it through the corresponding hole in the bottom of the pot. Repeat this process, making sure that you work round in a circle from the top so that you are pushing the correct piece of rope through the correct hole in your pot. The idea is that the rope will be not twisted at the top. This can sometimes be a little tricky to pull through. I sometimes find I have to add an extra piece of sellotape to the end of the rope, or sometimes giving it a little push with the end of my scissors can help. At this point you want to hold your pot up, give it a press down, and really make sure that you're happy that it is hanging in a level position. At this point you may also want to just make sure that the lengths of rope from the top are nice and straight and they're not twisted at all. You can now remove the pins and it's time to start working on the decoration of the pot. This design is the kind of crisscross pattern. So, starting on the underneath of the pot, put a small drop of super glue and attach one end of your accent rope. Hold it for a second or two to make sure that it is bonded firmly. And then you're going to go over the top of the next piece of rope, then under the bottom of the next one, over the top of the third one, to come back to the start underneath. Just check that all of your rope is in the right position, check the tension, trim off any excess, and then secure underneath with a small dot of super glue. You need a little bit of tension on the accent rope, but not too much. When you're happy that that glue has set, take your next piece and repeat the same process on the other remaining piece of rope. Small dot of super glue, attach the end where it will be hidden, and then moving along to the next one, taking the rope over, then under, over and under. Check your tension, trim off any excess, and glue when you're happy it's in the right place. Okay, you're now coming on to finish securing the rope at the bottom. So find your second piece of thread or string, make the 2 loops for your clove hitch, or just do an ordinary double knot if that is easiest. Slide all 4 ends of your rope in through the loops you've made, and draw your string, your thread, down to the base of the pot. Take your time at this point to make sure that you've got the same amount of rope pulled through. You want the tassel to dangle from the centre of your pot. You don't want the tassel to sit off to one side. So take your time getting your thread, getting your string in the right place before you pull it tight. Check that you're happy with all of the levels before you add this final bit of super glue. When you're happy, you can trim the excess from the end of your thread or your string, and we repeat the same process that we did at the beginning. A small dot of super glue to secure the knot, and then we're disguising that piece of string that we've used by making sure we're wrapping the accent rope around the top with the tail of the rope tucked in so it will be hidden when that first loop gets created. And then carefully wrap your rope, the accent rope, around the long strands that will make the tassel. Once again, making sure that your tension is even and the rope isn't twisted. When you get to the end, use the tip of your scissors to push the end up and under so it's hidden away nice and neat. Insert the tip of the super glue bottle, and a little squeeze of super glue there will fix that end in place. Your pot is taking shape. So decide how long you want the tassel. I think a longer tassel looks better than a short one. Hold all 4 ends securely and chop them all off at the same time so that you have 4 equal lengths. And we've obviously got rid of that sellotape. You can just gently fray the ends of each of the ropes to make the end of the tassel look nice and attractive. And there you have it, you've finished your Toucan Rope Originals hanging planter. Kit's available in the Toucan Rope Originals shop on Etsy.com.